Where we say hello to Todd Lewis. Todd, you spoke to several players out there already today about this final stretch in the schedule before the playoffs. How are some of those guys getting geared up for this high-pressure stretch that's coming?
Well, they're trying to stay focused, Eamon. By the way, we are inside the prestigious, historic Detroit Golf Club clubhouse. This club established back in 1899. Why? Because there was a significant weather system that mowed through the Detroit area this morning, but it has stopped now, and it seems like players soon are going to be able to go out and tackle this golf course. And for those players that are right now outside the FedExCup playoff bubble, well, they have had a few more moments to think about what's ahead of them. You see, the signature events are now over for 2024, so the Rocket Mortgage Classic will kick off what will be a 7-week run, and players will have 6 opportunities to play their way into the FedExCup playoffs. Now, take a look at the schedule. It starts here in Detroit, ending with the Wyndham Championship. The top 70 in the FedExCup standings after the Wyndham will make it to the FedExCup playoffs, secure the card for next season, and have a chance to advance to East Lake and be a part of signature events in 2025. The biggest point event in this stretch is the Open at World Truant. And for those currently on that bubble or outside the top 70 of the FedExCup standings, this next month and a half will be significant.
It's kind of, these last 6 events are kind of like a sprint, you know. We had the last 3 weeks off, or I was home for a few weeks and got a lot of good practice in. And, you know, you're looking to move inside that top 70, top 50, top 30, you know. So 1 or 2 good weeks can really kind of change the course of your season, not just for this year, but going into next year. You know, you sneak in the top 50 and get into those elevated events and stuff. That would be awesome. So got some good practice in at home and looking forward to the next 6 weeks.
Golf is obviously a mechanical game, but it's a mental game as well. How do you handle the pressure of these next 6 events and trying to secure your position for next year?
I think just trying to be normal. You know, it's just another, every week is just a new start, new tournament. So you really just, you know, trying to be as normal as possible. You know, not trying to think about the future that much. Really focus on the moment. So that's my mindset for this year and maybe for my future too. So yeah, it's special time, but at the same time, just trying to be normal. Yeah.
The points this year are getting to a point, especially this time of year, where there's big gaps in between there, just because of all the designated events and the point structure from those events and whatnot, that it's really hard to move up unless you top 2, top 3 every week. And obviously you need some help as well. But yeah, so like I said earlier, you just have to go out and play well. So.
Do you feel like you're in a tough position if you're not in the signature events? And it's how would you describe that challenge?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes it tougher. Like some guys had 3 weeks off this past stretch. Some guys had even more than that, which was pretty unfortunate. Like especially kind of during crunch time with the tour and the end of the regular season coming up and whatnot. And I was fortunate enough to play 1 designated event this year, but it would have been nice to get more. I think the fields should have maybe been a little bigger, but I don't make the rules, so here I am.
Now, like I mentioned, there are 7 weeks coming up with only 6 weeks of PGA Tour competition. 1 week will be off. That'll be for the Olympics. That is not obviously a PGA Tour sanctioned event. There are many players who are in this field who haven't played in close to a month. Why? Because over the last 3 weeks, we've had 2 signature events surrounding the U.S. Open. As a matter of fact, Sam Stevens, who you heard from there, played a Corn Ferry Tour event a few weeks ago just to keep his game sharp for this stretch run. Now, the PGA Tour feels that there will be a turnover, talking about the players that will move into the top 70 and players that will move out of the top 70 after the regular season, to be about 20%. So we're looking at roughly 14 guys going into the playoffs, 14 guys popping out. Now, will the signature event series change for 2025? Meaning, will the field sizes stay at about 70? Well, according to the tour, right now, yes. And the players are getting no evidence that that is going to change, which makes this stretch run very, very critical. Guys?
A lot of weather pressure outside the clubhouse and a lot of professional pressure inside the clubhouse. What do you think of these signature events, Jordan? Are they working, or are they, for you, still kind of a work in progress?
They're obviously a work in progress, Eamon. And if you look at it, I mean, it's separating a greater distance between the haves and the have-nots. That is very evident. But the complaints are coming from both the haves and the have-nots. I mean, you heard Scotty Scheffler talk about, hey, Pinehurst.
Just professional golfers. They'll complain about it.
And that's just life, too. You're not going to please everybody. But in this case, I don't know who quite you're pleasing. To me, you look at a guy like Scotty. You know, he goes and wins Memorial. And because of the scheduling of these signature events, he steps into Pinehurst and just never got his game. Was it because of the rigors of Memorial to Pinehurst, the scheduling portion of it? Then you look at the have-nots, the guys who aren't able to get in the field for these signature events. Well, they're losing out on the purse opportunity. Greater than that, the points opportunity. So the discrepancy is bigger. From a viewer and a fan of the sport, I understand how the unfair side of it for those who are being left out. But then again, what are you also generating? You're getting the best of the best in these events, and you're setting up the FedEx playoff to watch the best in the sport. Golf is starting to feel unique in this side of, yeah, you want everybody to have an opportunity, but you also got to go earn it, Eamon. And so I get that it makes it more difficult when you don't have the opportunity to go garner those points. But at the end of the day, it can feel as simple as you got to play better to have the opportunity. There has to be a portion of that in the conversation here, despite all the discrepancies elsewhere.
There is, but I suppose there's also the question of the opportunity to play as well as the opportunity to play better. And we've had this forced 3-week layoff for a lot of these guys. So I think there is an issue with the cadence of the schedule, and having, say, the Memorial, the US Open, the Travelers back-to-back. It's not just that guys are left who are actually have earned their card on the tour. It's not just that they're left out for those 3 weeks. To me, it's also the issue, to your point, of Scotty Scheffler. You get beaten up at the Memorial. You're committed to the Travelers after. So suddenly you have one of the career-defining events right in the middle there, where the schedule isn't doing you any favours. I still think the field size, it's an issue here.
That's your biggest issue of all.
It really is, because at the Memorial, you didn't even have 70 guys in the field. And it doesn't look as impressive to gather all the Goliaths if you don't have any Davids beside them. And I think you lose an essential nature of sport here, the idea of the upset player, somebody making a statement against the big guys in a big moment. And maybe the qualification process for it needs to be looked at, but I still think the field size could be 100, have a meaningful cut, because losing 15 or 20 guys out of a field of 70 isn't really that impactful. Yeah. I think if you have 100 guys there and lose 50 of them, it still doesn't, distinguish or demoralize anybody in terms of the paycheck they're going to get at the end of it. There's still a big pot of money being distributed to these guys.
And I guess I do get the point of saying you want everybody to have the opportunity. That's the beauty of a sport that I know you love dearly, college basketball, that I played, and having that tournament.
You were a pitcher, right?
Yes, a pitcher. That's right. That tournament in March is a big deal because you have the opportunity for the upset. You have the Davids mixed in with the Goliaths. But at the end of the day, what does everybody want to see when it gets towards the end? Goliath.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. So is the deck being stacked towards a FedEx playoff that is going to be chock full of Goliaths? Well, that's what everybody at the end of the day kind of wants to see. So you want them to have more of an opportunity to get there. I get that part. But at the end of the day, can we be really that upset when we're going to watch the best of the best?
You can't, but I guess this is a problem the Tour has had over the years as well. In all of its sort of finagling with the FedEx Cup over the years, it gives you the impression of trying to engineer an outcome.
Yeah.
And you're trying, for the benefit of fans, for the benefit of sponsors, for the benefit of broadcasters. Everyone does want to see the best go toe-to-toe at the end, but it's sport. The best have to earn their way to that period at the end of it. And there are other aspects of this that I do think needs addressing as well. And one of them we're going to see over the course of the next few weeks, just in terms of the turnover rate. Todd mentioned about the number of guys you might expect to see move into the top 70 between now and the playoffs. But the Tour has projected somewhere between 34 and 38% of the top 50 would be gone heading into next season. So that this isn't just a self-fulfilling cycle here where the same guys stay in these tournaments with higher point allocations and you just can't possibly get them out of it, which is how it was on the old WGC system. So that turnover rate will be an interesting one to look at, but they really have to look at the sponsor exemptions in these events. They get 4 in each of these events. Adam Scott and Webb Simpson, both board members, have now received 5 free passes into events that they were not otherwise eligible for. And you can make an absolutely valid argument that both of those guys are consummate professionals. They add value to the tournament. Nobody would dispute their right to be there. But there all the time, and 5 of them, there ought to be a cap on how many sponsor invites you can get into these lucrative events, and a give back of some kind. If you take an exemption into a signature event, you ought to be required to play a non-signature event somewhere else that wasn't on your schedule.
Unless you're Tiger Woods, of course, who got that lifetime exemption for the signature events, which I think we can both agree Feels fair.
Special rules for
Special rules for a special player. How about the tough exterior, but a warmer side to you? Championing the underdog here, giving them an opportunity. I love to see it.